IRMA'S Desire by John Raimondi, Corten Steel, I-80 eastbound, Grand Island, Nebraska. I'm celebrating the nation's 250th birthday by revisiting its 200th, the Bicentennial, because Nebraska was unique in celebrating that bicentennial with a series of monumental sculptures installed at the various Interstate 80 rest stops across the state. My family traveled that interstate regularly during the past 50 years. My wife was actively involved in the state's art community. Nebraska's I-80 sculptures are the only permanent bicentennial celebration, and I wrote about two of them in my books. So this year seemed like a good time to revisit those pieces and produce my reactions to them. Well, my reaction to Irma's Desire was to write an essay about her and include that essay as the first chapter in my book, Back in Keith County. So here are some readings from that chapter. Shapes, colors, and movements evoke emotions. If they did not, there would be no painting, no sculpture, no courtship between animals, no territorial defense, no behavioral communications. I have no knowledge of the inner workings of abstract artists' minds, but I do know that the abstract artist routinely extracts from subjects those elements of pure color, pure shape, pure movement that evoke emotion. Furthermore, in the case of abstract sculpture, the best ones are protean, self-generating, always the same but never the same. Different emotions are evoked at different angles or from the same angle on different days, depending on cloud patterns, wind blowing through spaces, or the color of sunrise. The best ones are thus free of restrictions, and the humans that view them are also free of restrictions, free to interpret as they wish, free to feel as they wish, free to think their own thoughts about this pile of steel, and free to change those thoughts. There is an independence forced upon us by abstract sculpture, especially by sculpture as large and powerful as Irma's Desire. Even when told how to interpret an artist's work, we cannot all agree with that interpretation. No matter how hard we resist, we cannot but think our own thoughts about Irma's Desire. Such a gift, artist John Raimondi, such a gift to the people of the Interstate. Not many places in the world where that can happen, are there? Not many places in the world where a person can choose, even it be for such a short time, to say, to think, to feel only the thoughts of one's own unique mind, and perhaps a companion who's seen Irma's Desire, and also his or her unique thoughts about a piece of sculpture that cannot be ignored. I think back over all the years of trying to generate new ideas in this area of original science that is my profession, and I can remember well when the new ideas first appeared in conversations. Those times occurred when either I or some bright student was freed of every obligation but the obligation to our own thoughts. Those times occurred when we breathed the air of total freedom, including the freedom to express those thoughts knowing full well someone would listen, take us seriously, no matter what set of scientific rules or precedents were violated. At those times, the ideas moved about one another, pointed here and there, assumed positions of relative importance that depended on their angle of view, a shifting, changing, intellectual experience from which a single message finally emerged, at least for the time. The totality of freedom, of uninhibited intellectual exchange, no jockeying for positions of power, the flow of unhindered thoughts open to all interpretations, these things remind me of only Irma's Desire. The combination of points and directions, emphases and bases, settings, and an infinite number of ephemeral contexts from which finally emerges the luxury of a new idea, a single message. These things say Irma's Desire to me. And conversely, Irma's Desire has come to signify these things as I head west into that territory where there are no telephones, no forms to complete, No deadlines except the one imposed by the lives of animals I wish to study. This, then, John Raimondi, is the symbol you have given us, regardless of your original intent. Your pile of Corten steel stacked out where the river meets the road is the result of your own unique thinking, and for that reason I value it all the more. This reading was from back in Keith County, still available as a paperback from the University of Nebraska Press, and the full text you can download from my website. Many thanks to the Nebraska Arts Council for supplying John Raimondi's visit, and thanks also to our son for highway driving. Bye.